All right, Brandon.
Good morning, Kat.
Good morning. So you have a toy for us.
I do.
A big bad toy.
Well, mid-sized toy.
I guess it's all a matter of scale, right?
Exactly.
Okay, what is this?
We are playing today with the Mazzer Kony
Okay.
Conical grinder. This is basically they only have two levels in their conical side, so it's their mid-level grinder inside of their conical. It is a 63 millimeter conical burr set.
Okay.
This differs a little bit because majority of your commercial espresso grinders in America are at least flat burr grinders.
Okay.
There's very few conical grinders that you're actually going to see here. Mazzer makes two of them, and they're probably two of the most popular. This is, if you will, the entry level commercial conical grinder.
Why do they do conical? What's the difference?
So, well, this is a question that will probably get debated for a very long time.
Yeah.
General rule of thumb, conical considered is slicing. Okay, when you have the beans, it's basically slicing the beans. You've got two burrs that are going to rotate effectively in a cone shape, and as it goes down, if you picture almost two knives just slicing it. Whereas a flat burr actually crushes it, so it's physically going down. It has to crush it and throw that out. Conicals, the theory goes at least on the slicing side of it, it's a little less harsh in the bean, so you can get a more consistent, finer grind. Okay. Basically, sorry, I have this thing gurgling at me. Basically, you can get a lower RPM, so that generally translates to a little lower heat. It's a little bit nicer on the bean, and that's what gives us a nice, solid, consistent grind. Okay. This machine here, it's 500 RPMs, so it's a very low motor speed that's running through, whereas a flat burr grinder is generally going to be about 1,700 to 1,800 RPMs. And
like some of these ones that are bigger, they have larger. I mean, we have like some that are like 84 millimeter.
Yes.
Flat burrs. So when they're conical, they end up being smaller.
Yes. So,
okay.
Well, but that's not exact. It's not an exact translation, basically. Okay. You can't. A lot of people try to get into that. Well, I want a 64 millimeter flat burr to 58 millimeter. I need a 64 millimeter conical. It's not the same translation. Conicals they're kind of on their own. So when you look at it, I mean, you go back to like your home ones. You're looking at little 30 millimeter conical burr sets. Yeah. This one here again, entry level, we're at 58 millimeter conical burr set. It's big.
Are we at 58 or 63?
63. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, 63 on
Get
this
me
guy.
on track.
Yeah.
So 63 millimeters.
So double the size of what you see a lot in little home
Double
ones.
the size. When you have this down, you can actually pull out a dose in about 3.5 seconds.
Okay.
So it's a lot of surface area. It actually goes quick, just because of the way that it goes. Conicals are very efficient with slicing. Okay.
So what are more of the stats on the Kony?
Well, that's the beautiful thing about grinders. There's not a lot of stats you have to worry too much about. It's a 350 watt motor that's inside of there. Okay. Like I said, 500 RPMs is what we're turning at. Okay. The burr set inside, it's generally about 1,100 pounds until you have to replace that actually burr. The burr inside there. Okay. So it lasts a while. 1,100 pounds of espresso is a lot of espresso.
And then this is an electronic, a programmable version.
This is the electronic. So the Kony, the only ones that we carry here on these upper levels is the electronic. We don't carry the doser version. They do make it. It's fully programmable. So you have a button right here. Just on off. I can run it wherever I want. Yeah. We can also program for 1 shot or 2 shots. Okay. It's a very simple interface, really. We have a menu, we've got a counter, and we have up or down for adjustments. It's clean. There's just not a lot there. But it's a full dosing unit, so we're only going to dose out just what we need for each shot. There should be very little waste.
Can we reset the counter?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, I get that question all the time.
I've been playing with that for quite a while. There's 4 numbers, so if you run 9,999 shots,
it will kind of zoom back. So that's your job, right?
That's why we are here.
Okay, so you're gonna take the top off?
Yep, we are going to. We are going to get in here. One of the things with Mazzers, a lot of people kind of always forget there's a little screw in the back here that actually holds this in place. Okay. Once that's loose, it'll just pop right off. It's got a little tab right there that goes down that gives it a sensor kind of letting know it's in place.
Oh, okay. So it won't run without that? I don't think it will.
I don't think it will. Just shut it off.
So I can't get my paws down in there. Meow!
We're trying to protect you. Trying to protect the mittens. Then we have a little gauge right here as well. So right now you can kind of see inside of here. This is just a collar. It's the adjustment collar. Okay. It screws one way or the other so we can actually make an adjustment. Of course, fine. It's not going to let me because I got to get this whole thing out of here. Come on. They try to make me do a lot of work for this. once we actually
It
get
can't
that.
be easy.
Now, once we actually get that out of there, then we can just pop this all the way around.
Okay.
We can get down inside the main collar.
Okay.
So
and
now,
so that's the bottom
that's your bottom burr. Yep.
of the conical, and then
And this is your
this
top.
is the top.
And so you can see what I was talking about with the slicing standpoint. This is how this whole process works. You have a rounded out edge, burrs that are sitting right there. Then we can go down inside of it, and you just have this little cone that's right there.
Okay.
Okay, so we're basically, as we tighten it, we're just going to make this a little bit closer into here.
Okay.
And that's what's going to give us our fineness.
So this one remains stationary.
That one
and
remains
this one goes up and down for your grind adjustments.
Yep. You can kind of see the little springs that's inside of there, but basically that's all it is. As I'm turning this, it's pushing this down closer. So we're basically here, nice and coarse, and as we start pushing it down, 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 you can see me actually see the little spring action.
Yeah.
But as we're pushing it down, it's going to get finer and finer and finer.
Okay.
That's also why it's really hard sometimes, especially if you notice it's got this little thing here. Once you get down to a certain level, you really need that to actually make that push.
Okay.
Basically, it's a new grinder, so nice grease.
Yeah. Cool.
Hands are dirty.
All right. So do you want to...
Let's get a good shot inside there.
Yeah. So you got some beans in there.
We have beans. Everything's back together.
You know what I'm hearing is your grinder, your dual grinder and air conditioning unit.
You are, yes. If you can get close right here, you can actually feel it right there. That is a
cool
fan
breeze.
to keep the chamber cool.
Summer breeze.
So, I got to keep you on track, Kat. These conical grinders are really for high-end espresso shops.
Okay.
Okay, these are not what you would call production shops. These are for places doing single origins and in high volume. We're going for a very fine, consistent grind. And that's one of the reasons why you'll see this little fan here. It cools the chamber. Actually, as those gases are expanding, it's trying to get that out of there.
Okay.
So we keep the motor cool. We keep as much internally cool for as long as possible.
Got it.
Okay. It's noisy, but it's not quite that bad.
You're not going to notice in your busy cafe,
No,
right?
the grinder's much noisier. So we are all set back together here. We basically, we have it relatively fine right now. The downside with any grinder is as you go incredibly fine, it'll start getting clumpy.
Okay.
So I typically, the way I like to set this thing actually, and I have it set right where I want it, but I'm going to go just a little more fine with it right now. And you're going to, see how it's just a little clumpy right there? See that little clump that comes out right there? That is just a little bit too fine on this. This type of grinder, you should not be seeing clumps.
Okay.
So when I'm there, that's how I know I really want to back that down.
Okay.
So about right here is where I was doing the shot. Let's clear some of that out real quick. So we still got just a little bit of clump there. So we just want to back it off just a little bit here. You know, if that screw doesn't get in my way again. Let's try to get some of that out of there. Let's see what we got.
Okay. So we're looking like there's not as much clumping.
Not as much
Okay.
clump in there, and I
So
don't
you
need
sort of
that
start
in.
there when you want to start your dialing for your machine and
Yeah.
that in your coffee.
Everyone's going to be different too as far as what they're actually trying to get in, how much pressure they're putting on there. You
Yeah.
know, some people I've seen do a lot coarser espresso versus it, but you can completely choke it out. You can take it all the way fine and just stop it if you want to.
Okay.
It's just, of course, that's a flow rate difference, right? And
Got it.
If you have it that fine, it's going to take forever to actually dose anything out.
Okay. And so these are programmed at stock right now, you were saying, these two buttons?
Yep, we have not made any adjustments to these at all.
Okay.
So right now, when we get inside of here, you're going to see, just hold on to the menu button for a little bit and start flashing. That one's programmed at 3 seconds.
Okay.
So I can take that wherever I want to take it to. And I have to get back out of it to get back in there. But let's just leave it at stock for a second. Hold that again. It's going to hold it. Let's see where the double's at. 8.3.
Okay.
So let's just take a look at this right now, and let's just see where this sits, because this is what you're going to be doing in your cafe. Your grind's going to change, so you might even have to change it daily, a couple days. So we're just going to see where it sits right now. And we are overflowing.
Oh, yeah.
25 gram.
Yeah. So we'd probably want to take that down to maybe like 6.5 or so, maybe?
Yeah, I'm going to probably cut about 2 seconds off of it. So
Yeah.
let's just take a look. But,
Okay.
So this is the beautiful part. This is why you see how easy it is to actually make adjustments to this. What are you thinking? 6.5?
Yeah.
Let's try. Let's see how close you are, Kat. There's no prizes if you win, by the way.
What do you mean? I thought the prize would be you were making coffee for the rest of the week for me.
I do that anyways.
Closer.
Yeah, once you actually settle that out, there's not too much waste.
No, so maybe 6.25 or so for that particular grind and coffee and stuff.
Exactly.
So you really have to kind of, once you dial in your grind to your machine, then you would calibrate your timing based on that.
Yeah, you have to pull your grind first because again, this is all on times. This is not on weight. This isn't on any of that stuff. It's strictly 6 seconds, 7 seconds.
Cool.
So every single bean's going to come in. It's going to have a different grind every day. You're going to have a different grind, especially if you're changing origins every single day. So you're going to come in, set the grind to where you want it to be, and then you can actually get in there and make that change. But you can see it's a very simple process. In the morning, you run one, see where you're at. I mean, you were pretty darn close right there. We just need to take off probably about 0.10, 0.1, 0.2 seconds, basically, and we're there.
Okay, so that is the Mazzer Kony Conical Burr grinder in a gorgeous, like, hematite finish. I love that color. Yeah, I like it. That it's kind of deeper gray.
We were talking about that. We always liked the black before, but this little gray one actually looks pretty nice.
Pretty slick. Cool. All right. Thank you very much, Brandon.
Have a great day. Thanks.